If you're over 70, these 8 signs can predict how long you'll live. When you hit your 70s, every new morning starts to feel like a precious gift. But have you ever wondered how to tell just how many more of these mornings you have left? It might seem like only fate or even your genes hold the answer. But the truth is, your body is already sending you signals. It tells you how you're aging and, importantly, hints at how long you might have left. These clues aren't hidden in complex lab tests or wrapped in confusing medical jargon. They're in everyday things. The way you walk, sleep, hold yourself upright, the company you keep, and even how you think. Today, we're going to walk you through 8 key signs that American doctors and scientists consider reliable indicators of longevity after age 70. This isn't fortune-telling or tips from the internet. These are insights drawn from real studies and observations of people who have led long, active, and meaningful lives. One of these signs, ranked second in importance yet almost easily overlooked, we'll save for last. So stay tuned. If you want to not only add years to your life, but also make those years vibrant, clear-headed, full of energy and joy, this video is for you. Stick with us until the end, and you'll see how even simple changes in your daily routine can extend your active years for a long time. Sign number 1, social connections. When we talk about health after 70, most of us immediately think of diet, exercise, or even blood pressure. But here's an astonishing fact. The most powerful factor for longevity in later life is your social connections. And this isn't a joke. People who have close friends and loved ones to talk to, laugh with, and share thoughts with not only live longer, but enjoy a much higher quality of life. Research time and time again shows loneliness is a slow killer. Imagine 2 women in their mid-70s. Mary, 76, meets up with her friends every week at a local coffee shop. She regularly calls her children and grandchildren, participates in a book club at the community center, and even volunteers at the local public library. Mary always finds reasons to smile and feels like she's still an integral part of life. Susan, also 76, lives in a nearby apartment building, but her reality couldn't be more different. She rarely leaves her home. Neighbors are now strangers, and her busy children hardly find time to visit. Although she has everything she needs, TV, food, and her medications, the feelings of connection have all but vanished. And it's that absence of connection that's dangerous. When you're isolated, your brain doesn't work as well. Your immune system weakens, and the risks of depression, heart disease, and even premature death increase. Studies have compared the mortality risk of loneliness to that of smoking. On the flip side, genuine conversation, laughter, warm hugs, and being part of someone else's life can literally heal you. Social interactions keep your brain active, reduce stress, and release feel-good hormones that strengthen both body and mind. And it's not about being the life of the party or having dozens of acquaintances. Sometimes all it takes is one person with whom you can share an honest conversation, or joining a small group where you genuinely enjoy your time. The key is not to be completely alone. When was the last time you had a spontaneous, heartwarming chat? Not just a quick hello, but a true human connection. If you can't remember, that might be a signal. Not a criticism, but a gentle reminder that it's time to rebuild those bonds. Even one conversation, one visit, or one phone call can be the start of something transformative. Loneliness can be cured with a bit of attention, both to yourself and to others. Sign number 2, resilience to stress. Stress isn't just about feeling anxious. It affects your blood pressure, heart, immune system, sleep, memory, and even how long you live. After 70, the ability to manage stress becomes more than a handy skill. it's a lifeline. That's why stress resilience is one of the three main factors that influence health and longevity in later years. It isn't about dodging problems, because they're bound to pop up, but rather about how you respond to them. Imagine two men in their mid-70s. Alex, 75, isn't free from life's challenges. He faces unexpected expenses, aches in his joints, and even occasional disagreements with his son. But Alex has learned not to get stuck in his worries. He enjoys a morning walk, practices deep breathing exercises, listens to classical music, and even designates news-free time in the evenings. He doesn't pretend that everything is perfect, but he refuses to stew in anxiety. Victor, also 75, is a different story. He's constantly fretting about his health, his community, even the state of local services. He finds it hard to switch off his worries. Even on quiet days, he's bracing for the next mishap. This persistent anxiety makes his blood pressure soar, disrupts his sleep, and leaves him feeling perpetually exhausted and irritable. Chronic stress, especially after 70, can wreak havoc from the inside out. It raises cortisol levels, a hormone that not only affects blood pressure, but also weakens your immune system, triggers inflammation, and accelerates brain aging. The good news? Stress management is like a muscle that can be strengthened with practice. Some find peace through meditation, others in prayer, deep breathing, or even a leisurely walk in the park. Sometimes, simply learning to let go of what you can't control and focusing on what you can, like a friendly chat, a quiet moment, gratitude, movement, or social time, makes all the difference. So when faced with unexpected challenges, do you find yourself staying calm and searching for solutions? Or does anxiety cling to you for too long? If you notice that you're frequently tense even after a stressful event has passed, consider it a gentle nudge. It might be time to learn to let go. Remember, stress isn't your enemy if you know how to handle it. But if you don't, it can start running the show. Working on your stress response is literally a way to extend your life. Sign number 3. Quality of sleep. Sleep isn't just a period of rest. It's the foundation of good health. It's when your body repairs itself, cleanses toxins, and regenerates. And after 70, its importance only grows. Good sleep bolsters your immune system, sharpens your mind, supports your heart, and keeps your metabolism humming along. On the flip side, poor sleep can speed up aging, cause wild blood pressure swings, impair memory, and even affect your mood, appetite, and zest for life. Many people dismiss bad sleep as just an inevitable part of aging, but really, the quality of your sleep is a mirror of how well your body is functioning overall. Consider two men, both 74 years old. Nick has a bedtime routine. He goes to sleep at the same time every night, manages to get 6 to 7 hours of restorative sleep, and wakes up feeling refreshed. He keeps his bedroom well ventilated, avoids the TV before bed, and opts for a warm cup of herbal tea in the evening instead of strong coffee. His sleep might not be flawless, but it recharges him for the day ahead. Brad, on the other hand, experiences fragmented sleep. He drifts off only in fits and starts, wakes up several times during the night, and ends up feeling drained in the morning. Even though he takes over-the-counter sleep aids, they merely mask the problem. His days are marred by drowsiness, fuzzy memory, fluctuating blood pressure, and an overwhelming sense of fatigue. Poor sleep in older adults isn't a minor issue. It's a serious alarm bell. Sometimes stress is to blame, sometimes pain, or even disruptions in your natural sleep-wake cycle. Sometimes it's something as simple as a late dinner, screen time in bed, or lack of daytime activity. Fortunately, most sleep issues can be improved. A little daylight during the day, an early start to the evening, reducing screen time at night, and establishing a calm, consistent bedtime routine can do wonders. If you find yourself waking up often, sleeping fitfully, or delaying bedtime further and further, it might be a sign that your body's internal clock is off. Now is the time to gently reset it. When did you last wake up feeling truly refreshed? Not just having opened your eyes, but feeling that your body is energized and your mind is clear. If it's been too long, it might be time to re-examine your nighttime environment and habits so that your body can get the quality sleep it deserves. Sign number 4. Physical activity, walking, and balance. As we age, many of us tend to move less. Some worry about falling, others try to protect their joints, and some simply lose the habit of regular movement. But here's the truth. Movement is life. The less you move, the quicker your body begins to give out. Doctors have long observed that people who maintain a brisk, confident walk, even in their 70s and 80s, tend to live longer. It's not just about your legs. A steady walk reflects the health of your heart, muscles, lungs, brain, and coordination. Let's look at 2 older Americans. Karen makes it a point to take a daily walk. Whether it's a stroll through a nearby park or a quick trip to the corner store, she walks at a pace that's comfortable yet purposeful. Her steps are steady, and even when she climbs a flight of stairs, there's a confident strength in her movements. Karen feels truly alive. Peter, once an avid walker, now finds himself putting off outings more and more. He walks slowly, often leaning on a cane, and frequently stops to catch his breath. Sometimes he even experiences lightheadedness and fears losing his balance. As a result, he ends up staying home, which only further diminishes his strength. This creates a vicious circle. The less you move, the weaker you become, and the weaker you feel, the less you want to move. Pay particular attention to your balance. If you can't stand on one foot for at least 10 seconds without wobbling, it might be an early sign that your body's stability is declining. And that decline comes with an increased risk of falls, injuries, and future limitations. The great news is that you can rebuild your movement, no matter how long it's been since your last walk. Start small. Try a 5-minute walk a day, pace around your home, take the stairs instead of the elevator, or stand up and sit down from a chair 10 times in a row. Even simple balance exercises, like standing next to a wall while lifting one foot, can make a big difference. These little actions aren't trivial. They're what keep you moving and independent. Ask yourself, how often do you take a 10 to 15-minute walk without stopping, not out of obligation, but simply because you can? If it's a rare occurrence, don't wait until your body is completely out of practice. Start small. Remember, being able to walk down the street without fear isn't just about muscle. It's about reclaiming your freedom. Sign number 5. Nutrition and appetite. After 70, food isn't just about taste. It's about survival in the best possible way. Food is the fuel from which your strength, energy, resilience, and recovery are built. One of the earliest warning signs is a loss of appetite. It might seem trivial, feeling not in the mood to eat, thinking food isn't as appealing, or simply feeling fed up with your usual meals. But when this loss of interest in food leads to noticeable weight loss, it's a signal that your body isn't getting what it needs. Consider 2 American women in their mid-70s. Linda still makes a point to cook balanced meals. She might not be a gourmet chef, but she enjoys simple, nutritious dishes. Think fresh vegetables, hearty soups, a bit of lean meat, whole grain cereals, and seasonal fruits. Linda's dinners are straightforward yet nourishing, and she feels that her meals give her the energy to take a walk, read a good book, or help out a neighbor. Nancy, however, has found herself forgetting to eat over the past 6 months. More often than not, she replaces a proper meal with a cup of tea and a couple of cookies. She complains that cooking feels like too much effort and that food just doesn't taste the same anymore. As a result, she's lost nearly 10 pounds and finds that her overall energy, and even the motivation to get out of bed, has dwindled. She chalks it up to aging, but in reality, it's a warning sign. A declining appetite in older adults can indicate a weakening digestive system, vitamin or nutrient deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, and sometimes even early signs of cognitive decline. When your body isn't receiving the necessary proteins, vitamins, fats, and fluids, it starts to break down its own reserves. Muscles weaken, your immune system falters, and your mood dims, not in a positive, mellow way, but in a drab, lifeless manner. The silver lining is that you can improve your nutrition. It doesn't necessarily require an elaborate overhaul. Sometimes incorporating 1 or 2 nutritious meals or snacks into your day, like a warming soup, a medley of sautéed vegetables, a serving of fish or eggs, whole grain porridge, a glass of low-fat milk, or a handful of fresh fruit, can make all the difference. The key is to eat regularly, rather than just when you feel like it. If you find yourself increasingly skipping meals simply because you're not hungry, it might be time to take notice. Your appetite is like a fuel gauge. When it starts dropping, your body may be entering an energy-saving mode. That's a clear sign it's time to refuel. Sign number 6, cognitive activity. Many believe that memory and sharp thinking inevitably fade with age, that it's normal to forget things, mix up dates, or take longer to process information. But the truth is, the mind is a muscle, and like any muscle, it needs exercise to stay strong. With regular mental workouts, your brain can remain surprisingly agile, even into your 80s and 90s. Cognitive activity refers to the way you think, remember, reason, and make decisions. It's your ability to concentrate, learn new things, and analyze the world around you. And in later life, keeping your mind active is one of the cornerstones of longevity. An active brain helps keep your entire system vibrant. Consider 2 acquaintances. Zoe makes it a ritual to solve puzzles each morning. She keeps a journal where she jots down new recipes and even learned to use her smartphone to stay connected. Zoe loves doing crosswords, reading aloud to reinforce her memory, and engaging in lively discussions about current events. She may not be a scholar, but her brain is in fine form, and she's curious and engaged. Gregory, on the other hand, feels that learning new things isn't for him anymore. He hasn't picked up a book in ages because his eyes tire quickly, and he only half listens to the news. He often forgets the names of acquaintances, gets mixed up about the days of the week, and sometimes can't recall why he entered the kitchen. He chalks it up to just getting older, but these could be the early signs of cognitive decline. When the brain stops being challenged, it doesn't simply rest. It begins to wither. Yet even simple activities such as reading, recounting a story, playing a game of checkers or chess, learning a new word, or watching a documentary followed by a discussion can light up those neurons, boost memory, and improve your mood. Remember, cognitive exercises aren't just for the young or academically inclined. They're for anyone who wants to stay themselves for as long as possible, to remember names, to keep up with the news, and to feel confident in understanding what's happening around them. If you haven't picked up a book lately, tried your hand at something new, written a letter by hand, or engaged in a deep conversation about something that matters. Maybe it's time to give your brain a little workout. Sign number 7. Grip strength. Your hands are more than mere tools. They're a reflection of your overall strength. Especially after 70, the power of your grip can be a direct indicator of your overall well-being. You might wonder, what does opening a jar or shaking someone's hand have to do with longevity? The answer is simple. Hand strength isn't one of the first things to diminish. If your grip is weakening, it often means that many other aspects, muscle strength, metabolism, coordination, are also beginning to decline. Some studies even use grip strength as a predictor of survival among older adults. The stronger your handshake, the higher your chances are for a long, active, and independent life. Consider 2 men in their late 70s. Anthony makes a habit of doing simple exercises every day. He carries his own grocery bags, opens jars without a struggle, and even sometimes splits firewood for his backyard fire pit. His hands might show signs of age, but they remain firm and strong. When he shakes your hand, you immediately sense his confidence. Walter, however, has started noticing that even opening a jar takes extra effort. Holding a heavy skillet becomes challenging, and he shyly avoids firm handshakes during greetings. What might seem like a minor inconvenience is actually a red flag. Diminishing muscle strength, reduced endurance, and overall declining vitality. A weakening grip isn't just about your hands. It signals that your body's resources are dwindling. Grip strength is closely linked to muscle mass, hormone levels, nerve function, and even blood flow. The good news? You can rebuild your grip strength. Simple exercises like squeezing a stress ball, using a hand gripper, carrying small bags, or even opening jars without assistance can help strengthen your hands, wrists, and forearms. It doesn't take a lot, just a bit of regular practice. If you've recently found it harder to open a jar, hold a heavy mug, or give a firm handshake like you used to, listen to your body. It might be telling you that it's time for some focused exercise. Sign number 8. Walking speed. You might not always be tracking your heart rate, blood pressure, or blood sugar, but the speed at which you walk can tell a story about your overall health, perhaps even more than any gadget can. After 70, your walking pace isn't just a means of getting from point A to B. It reflects how well your heart, brain, muscles, lungs, and coordination are all working together. And if you notice that you're slowing down, it might not simply be tiredness or the result of bad weather. Research shows that older adults who maintain a brisk, confident walking pace generally experience fewer health problems and tend to live longer, even when managing chronic conditions. Active movement helps keep the body resilient, almost as if it's fighting off the natural decline that comes with age. Imagine 2 American men, both 79. Vince makes it a point to step outside every day. He isn't jogging, but he walks at a pace that still allows him to catch the bus if needed. He doesn't rely on a cane, crosses busy streets confidently, and his gait has a rhythmic assurance that speaks of inner strength. Nicholas, however, has started walking noticeably slower. He leaves his house a bit earlier just to make it to the corner pharmacy on time, feeling that his legs have become heavy and his steps uncertain. At first, it might have seemed trivial, but now even simple movements feel like a major effort. A slowing pace isn't just a natural part of aging, it's a reduction in your reserve capacity. A slower, less confident walk can indicate early issues with heart function, declining muscle mass, or even subtle neurological changes. The best part is, this too can be improved. Even if your walk has slowed down, incorporating regular movement, more steps at home, timed walks, marching in place, or light exercise routines can gradually rebuild your leg strength and boost your confidence. If you've noticed that over recent months you're taking fewer steps, yielding at crosswalks, or missing that green light more often, it might be your body's gentle reminder. Give me movement, and I'll get back in shape. Conclusion. Now that you've learned about all 8 indicators, it's time to take a moment and reflect. Which of these signs resonate with you? Which ones sound familiar? Maybe even a bit like your own story. Perhaps you've noticed a slower pace, a less firm handshake, disrupted sleep, or a dwindling appetite. Or maybe you suddenly realized that it's been far too long since you truly connected with someone. But here's what's most important. All of these signs aren't a death sentence. They're simply signals, and signals can be heard and acted upon. Most of these factors are within your control. It's never too late to start moving a bit more, sleeping a bit better, or reaching out a bit more often. Every little step, whether it's a 10-minute walk, a call to a friend, diving into a new book, or enjoying a glass of lemon water with lunch, matters when done with care. Longevity isn't about the number of years you live. It's about the quality of those years. It's not just about how long you live, but how fully you live them. With a clear mind, a steady step, a vibrant body, and a light heart. If you've read or watched this all the way through, it already says a lot about you. It means you care. And that's the first step toward making a change. Drop a comment below about which part of this message resonated with you the most, or which step you're planning to take first. Your feedback inspires us to create even more helpful content. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe. It's a simple way to say thank you, and we truly appreciate it. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next video.